Hi, Essé.
Hi.
I'm so happy to have this opportunity to speak to you today a bit more in depth about your project and your practice. You've been here with us in Berlin for a few months as a TURN2 resident. TURN2 project is a project of zku.Berlin, funded by the German Federal Foundation. And it has been a real pleasure.
Yeah, same for me.
I want to start by talking about your research and your project.
Okay.
Tell us a bit about what you had in mind to research while you were here in Berlin.
Being here, really, it's about flooding the world with new images. So working in close collaboration with image makers, I titled my project The Black Gaze, The Black Body. So ideally, I want to work with Black photographers who would also know well the Black body and how to magnify it. So this whole project is just to, I don't know how to say it, maybe rehabilitate, kind of, because I think there have been so many damaging clichés and ideas. So it's just bringing balance and nuance to the existing discourse. And we know that we are in a world saturated by images, so we know it works. Like, I know images work and are really strong, so that's the tool I want to use. Moving images and still images to change the narrative and to rehabilitate Black men.
I think it's really fitting that you're at a loss for words, because when I look at the photographs, it's the beginning of your research, which I see here in your studio. They also leave me a bit speechless, and they speak for themselves. Did you want to say a bit about this beginnings, the photography, and the people you're collaborating with to make these images?
Okay, I work in close collaboration with my partner, who is Selorm Jay. He is from Ghana, and he has been building an archive of the hip-hop culture in Ghana and beyond, actually, for the last 10 years. So I think I couldn't find a better person to work on that project. And maybe if I focus on one of the pictures, what I really like is how the protagonist is relaxed, basically. And there's a lack of images of Black people at rest. We are always hustling. And even hustling is probably the word that is the most used in hip-hop culture, I think. So I want to kind of break that idea and bring rest, stillness, smile. There's so many things different from hustling that we can present, actually. So that's what I'm trying to do.
So it's interesting your focus on Black masculinities. Can you tell us a bit more about that focus? I'm sure you've gotten comments about female
yes.
hip-hop artists in Germany who would love to be a part of your project.
Yeah.
So talk a bit about this focus on Black masculinities.
So I'm a woman and I'm a feminist. So of course, I'm very interested in issues related to women. But I'm also a sister, a daughter of men. So I realize that in the Black communities, there's no really space where men can really reflect on just on their day-to-day life and on the society pressure. So they tend to navigate the space kind of blindly and don't necessarily realize, I think they don't really take time to think about their own existence. And that translates in the fact that these days, the rate suicides for Black men is at its peak. So I think it's becoming a bit urgent that we address these kind of issues.
I find it really important what you say about the kinds of tools of self-care. This is something that I was thinking about years ago here in Berlin, thinking about Black masculinities and a project at Bauhaus Nauningstrasse where I invited 10 people who identify as Black and male to come together on their own first to talk about exactly these questions. And I remember the participants saying, oh, I had questions about, how do you take care of yourself? And them saying, this sounds like it's written by a Black woman, these questions. So I think I want to ask more, pry in about that a bit, this idea of spaces, safe spaces for Black masculinities within the hip hop culture. What did you find in terms of that regard?
So I'm not sure people are yet ready for that conversation. So the conversation I had were really about the Black experience. So I think it's stages. So first of all, you have to acknowledge you are Black. You have to acknowledge how it translates in your day-to-day life. And then when you do that, you will see the positive aspects and the negative aspect and what you have to work on. And I think it's only when you have identified that you can really see, okay, when this goes wrong, what do I do to self-care and to survive, kind of. So I really believe that my work is work in progress. Right now, my time has been a bit short here, so I really had first conversation about the Black experience and what it means to be a Black hip-hop artist in Germany. And I really hope that I can pursue the conversation to really go deeper and kind of start asking these kind of questions that are more uncomfortable and that's need for me to build this relationship.
Tell us about some of the protagonists that you've met during your project, who you've interviewed, and who has helped you in thinking about these very difficult and tender questions.
Okay, so I've been really lucky that my existing network actually connected me to quite very interesting people here in Berlin. So I've met Ghanaian Stallion, he's a producer. Alan Mensa is his official name. I've met Diamond Dog, who is MC from Angola. I've met Jamal, who used to work at YAM, this cultural center here in Berlin. I had discussion with Amevu, who is a Ghanaian German rapper. And I think that's the main conversations that were really interesting for me. I met so many people, but I really, really centered the conversation about these 4 artists.
And we took an unforgettable trip together first to Dortmund and to Hamburg in order to meet other cultural institutions and curators who are working in Berlin. And I had an amazing, amazing time, especially really enjoyed the conversations that we had on the train about curating. But first, maybe we could talk about that experience of leaving Berlin and going to a place like Dortmund, going to a place like Hamburg, seeing these institutions and thinking about possibilities for your projects in other spaces.
So I was really positively surprised by how people were available for us. They really made time so I could ask all my questions, and I tend to ask a lot of questions. So I really want to say a big thank you to Rebecca Subert, who welcomed us at the, I don't even know how to pronounce it, sorry.
Dortmunder Kunstverein.
Yes,
it's
thank
a mouthful,
you.
Yeah.
And the exhibition there was just amazing. You had mentioned already, you had mentioned this exhibition to me already, the James Gregory Atkinson exhibition, and I had the opportunity to meet him thanks to you, actually, before attending the exhibition. And what I really, really enjoyed in that one is that there's a big highlight on the research. And that's what I also try to kind of replicate on a small scale here, because I'm doing a research residency. So for the very first time, I'm asked to present what actually happens before the show. And I think that was really, really beautifully done at that exhibition. And Rebecca was really able to give a lot of insights. I was also amazed by the movie. And it's a beautiful piece, and the way it's displayed, I think it also makes it even more striking. Like, I think people have to witness it. I wouldn't know I wouldn't give it justice if I'm just talking about it now. So I really hope the exhibition will tour so more people can benefit from it. For me, it's a gift. I think it's a gift. Then we also had the opportunity to go to Dortmunder U, and we met Catherine and Kate, And once again, it was a beautiful experience because the exhibition was focused on Ghana, the FEA exhibition that was curated by Nana Oforiata, who is actually a curator from Ghana, where I'm based. So it was also a bit of home, away from home. So I also enjoyed a lot this exhibition. And we ended with Hamburg, where we went to Camp Nagel. And same, like the experience there was just amazing. Melanie Zimmerman welcomed us warmly and gave us access to a number of shows. Lucky for me, at that time there was a focus on hip-hop and hip-hop dance, which I have a big interest in. So I just saw so many synergies, and that was a really beautiful experience.
It was really fascinating for me as well, and I enjoyed so much how you spoke about your project and made connections to the research that people were doing, and it was really exciting to see how your ideas were developing on the spot with all of these new impressions. Maybe one last question to talk about the role of curator, because it's really fascinating the work that you've done already in terms of creating space for Black masculinities and hip hop already in Ghana. And now you're thinking about curating in a different way. So you've already put together many exhibitions, and you're absolutely a multiplier on the continent, but in terms of an exhibition around a theme. I would love to talk a bit about the role of curator. So tell us a bit about how you see your practice.
I'm always questioning what curating means. I really feel like I'm the critical middle between the artist and the audience. But then having this very important role, how do I articulate it in a way that what I present is deep enough, but also not too complicated, so I can cater to the wider audience. So I work in an English-speaking environment, and English is not my main language. So I get a lot of insecurities when I have to do my curatorial statements. So I think I'm really working around that, and I feel that maybe a new approach could be just to forget the writing and just focus on other forms. So that could be me recording myself, talking about what I envisioned for the exhibition. Being here, also I had the opportunity to exchange with the other residents, and they are mainly artists. So it's also interesting to know what are their needs, because at the end of the day, curator works also for the artist. And I got very good insights. I think that sometimes the curator also needs to step back and leave more room for the artist. So that would work well for me, so then I don't have to worry so much about creating a very strong curatorial statement and being so present. So yeah, I'm really trying to work around all of that. But what really matters for me is to be accessible both for the artist and for the audience.
That's a really important point, what you just made about accessibility, because I think also moving away from the written word is an aspect of accessibility. And I think many people appreciate, when we think about different ways to enter, people appreciate different ways to enter into a space and into a discourse. So I think it's really productive, these ideas that you're pondering right now.
Yeah.
Essé, thank you so much again for this conversation. It's so wonderful to be in conversation with you about your practice and about your project. And I know this is not the end, but a continued conversation about your work.
Thank you. It was amazing to have you as a mentor. I really enjoyed all our trips, and I really enjoyed meeting so many amazing people thanks to you. And yeah, as you said, it's only the beginning, and I know that more things are coming. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.